going in such a way that other people can actually view this on TikTok and YouTube
Oh,
and
okay.
Facebook and
Well,
stuff like that.
um, yeah, okay.
So, so that is definitely a very good discussion.
Ah, good.
Um,
I didn't know if you wanted this on your channel or not.
it's okay. So realizing that those energies are utilized in different formats. Um, and so what we're talking about is how meditation is similar to and utilizes the same type of stuff that hypnotists utilize. And so this is an understanding of the energy inside of the human being. And this is an understanding of the ability to utilize these things that are working for us and that are working against us. In this case of hypnotism, it's working against you. It's actually taking control, and somebody is hijacking these energies inside of your body. So, um, it's not a place where I truly focus in. It's not a mastery that I'm into. I'm more so into the ability to having a person achieve their own light, achieve their own ability to radiate with the reflection within themselves. Are you with me?
Okay.
I want you to liberate yourself. I want you to free yourself. I want you to not be a slave to anybody. I want you to see that it is possible to be who you are, that you can achieve the person inside of yourself, that the thoughts and the focus that you have inside of yourself is an ability to utilize what you have. So that is liberation. See, I'm not here to take advantage of anybody. I'm here to actually literally help people to find themselves. I'm here to tell you that if you utilize the things that I used for myself, that you can achieve levels where the emotion no longer have the effect over you.
Gotcha.
So like that is what I'm really out here to be an inspiration. I'm really out here for knowledge and focus, the connection inside of each of us where, we can go do the same dinner that you did. But on a daily basis, on a constant basis.
So, with hypnotism, then it just shuts a part of the brain down. Basically, I mean, it just kills a part of the brain for a short period of time.
So,
Basically.
what a hypnotist does is they hijack the energy fields within a human being.
That's crazy to think about.
Like a parasite. I mean, I just put it out there for you the way it is. I just put it out there. I could do it. I can hijack the nervous system. I already do it to myself. I have enough energy built up inside of myself, but that's not my purpose. My purpose is not to hijack people's nervous systems and to become a leech off of them. My purpose is to uplift them and to get their own energy flow, to get to their own place.
Right.
I mean, I can't be hypnotized because I have the energy and I have the ability to hijack my own brain, So.
But yet, like, it's my grandfather, for example. He used to have a problem with chewing on toothpicks. Like every time you'd see him, he would have a toothpick in his mouth. So he went to go see a hypnotist, and he got hypnotized. And for the rest of his life, he never had a toothpick in his mouth.
See, that's because they hijacked the nervous system. Found the they hijacked the nerve. Hypnotism is some advanced meditation, really, what it is. Hypnotism is a place of meditation where the person becomes so focused into a place where they utilize it as a ability to overcome the system within a human being to hit the place where the energy fields start to become under that person's control. So this is a external type of a mastery of reflection. So what hypnotism is not really the true power. What I'm talking about is the true power. I'm talking about you not allowing those types of things, but those are a perfect example of how energy within your body flows. So there might have been a day when he was freaked out that he had to pick up a toothpick, and when he picked up the toothpick, he felt a comfort from the toothpick. And so this is going back to that first toothpick to find the seed of that knowledge where he utilized that so that it no longer exists. This is the type of things that are unlearning walls is what it's called. Unlearning walls.
Right.
So, I mean, it is possible to do so, but it requires the level of focus within oneself to achieve external mastery at that level, thus being called a hypnotist.
Both things do work, though. Yours is probably a little more effective, as like your way, like in long term, more effective, honestly, than somebody getting hypnotized and, oh, you're cured, maybe, and maybe not, as you'll have, your symptoms come back. Your methods of, the way you do things, you work with people, it's kind of an uplifting way of doing things. I like your method better, but I actually brought that up to somebody who works in a psychiatric center, a friend of mine, about hypnotizing these people who come in with these addictions, and they never really thought about it. I guess it's never really, I guess no one's ever really asked them about that. And so I'm glad I asked you about that. And if you thought that would be beneficial, to a drug addict,
So
do you do you believe like if a hypnotist could hypnotize a person who's addicted to cocaine, and say, hey, so whatever they do to a cocaine addict, would a cocaine addict wake up and, not like cocaine anymore and go about his life? And
the way in which I do it, 100%. The way in which they do it, 60-70%.
Really? It's so 50-50 then, basically. Well, it's a little bit better odds, but
the way in which I do it, it's 100%, because it ain't about anybody else. It's like how I overcame my accident. How I got into a car accident, dislocated both my hips, displaced vertebrae, elongated my neck, and got down to the breath itself, found the exact breath that caused the damage in my body, and relived it and overcame it, and did 17 chiropractic visits and was running on the beach after 17 chiropractic visits. So the way I'm talking about it is 100%.
So how would you get into the mind of a hardcore meth addict?
First off,
hardcore, man.
First off, you have to focus, and you have to have the ability to have knowledge to even be able to start working with them.
Yeah.
So this means that they have to get to a place of focus so that they can start extracting the knowledge. And so that's why when you wrote stuff down, you were utilizing your ability to focus to the point where the reflection was your level of discipline, which ends up for other people being an inspiration, yeah? So what I'm talking about is 100%. It's because it ain't if you fail, it's not because you fail. It's because you failed you. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I do, but do you think that it would require a little bit of hypnotism and a little bit of what you do? Like
what I'm saying to you is that the hypnotist can get to the place inside where they find that page. However, you're not finding that page when they find that page. They are taking control of that page for you. I'm talking about you taking control of that page for yourself.
But an addict, though, you know, they're not going to be able to take control of anything.
And I'm not.
I mean, they're so
I understand
messed
that. That's why I said what I do 100%. What they do 60, 70%.
Right.
What I do is really works. What I do actually literally works. The way in which I can help people out, this is something that I took me many years to learn. See, took me the ability to get within myself to realize that, other people, and even to overcome the fact of my wife trying to tell me to stop being myself. Yeah. So I'm telling you, the person who's willing to focus to the point where they want to achieve what they want to achieve is going to achieve what they want to achieve. If you want to find that page within yourself of that experience, you can do that on your own. If you need somebody else to hijack your nervous system, they can do that too. However, recognizing that it's not you doing it, it's somebody else doing it, they may find the page for you and eliminate it for you or remove that from your thought process, but something else has to fill it in. Some other habit will end up filling it in until you achieve it for yourself. And this is called liberation.
Well, as they would just find another drug.
So as we're talking about meditation here and hypnotism, I just want to invite you all to subscribe to my networks, Motivation, Meditation, Inspiration. I'm talking about right now about meditation and hypnotism. And I'm not a hypnotist, but I understand what they're utilizing and how they utilize what they have. I'm actually a healer in this universe in such a way that my energy and the energy that I utilize of meditation has the ability to help other people to sync up their own energy within themselves. So this is definitely high level meditation. Are you with me on what I'm saying?
Right.
So I mean, this is the type of stuff that is the reason why I do what I do. Talk about motivation, meditation, and inspiration, is because the reflection comes from within ourselves, and exactly what that person Kerrigan is talking about. I'm here to do that right there. I'm here to help people to help themselves. I'm here to tell you that you can do that with the method that I use, with the stuff that I utilize on a daily basis, with the ability to hear what I'm saying and to use it on a daily basis. That's why I created that. Motivation, Meditation, Inspiration.yoga,
Your method, yes, would be a lot safer because I have heard that, the hypnotism bit, yeah, it's not safe. I have heard that.
Yeah, I mean, when I went 5 hours straight inside a sauna, they told me 30 minutes was not safe. Beyond that was not safe. And when I got up to the 7th hour after leaving after 5 hours of being inside the sauna, and the mantra inside of me was what was still driving me, the law of riches, which, is the ability to help out other people, ends up driving me, then that's when the reflection started to radiate outwards. So what I'm talking about is the ability to have an able mentality, and like that person recognize, see, that's a reflection, self-empowering. See, these are the reflections that start to come out. These are the types of things that people will start to see. This is the reason why I said I'm here to help the person who's in darkness by themselves and doesn't feel like they can achieve themselves. When you recognize that you are sufficient, that the knowledge that you have inside of yourself is a blessing, that you are a blessing inside this universe, and the Most High can literally utilize you as a tool in this universe with a focused mentality, then that's the type of stuff that happens. And those people that are in need of readings, I do have my networks here, and I am here definitely to help out multiple people as well. So just get on if you want to get a reading done, and I can definitely get that going, with a few conversation bit. But this is a really great conversation that we're having right now. The energy inside of the body Um, sure, go ahead, Kerrigan. The energy inside of the body is, and this is why I know that, like, I will literally be eventually one day, I'll be helping out so many people. I already closed my eyes one time, and I saw 1 billion people hearing my message, you know?
This guy's good. This guy's good.
So,
Hello.
blessings, is it Kerrigan?
Yeah, that's right. Thank you. Right back at you.
Blessings, dear. So, you utilize the green energy field in your day, huh? So, you have a good heart.
I do?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, thank you.
Well, that's even the reason why your color is green.
Mm.
So, 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 what kind of challenges are you facing off against right now?
Oh man, honestly, I actually just finished probably one of the biggest challenges of my life this past year, and literally like 2 days ago it resolved.
Okay.
So I'm actually just probably like basking in a sense of starting a new season, a sense of freedom and relief, and also like I definitely feel like I'm focusing on like maybe trying to do some like healing from the hurt. I definitely can tell it
Sure.
was challenging and like caught some damage, but I feel confident, that it's all going to be great and wonderful. But I definitely am in a little bit of like a quiet, like
So what's
hermit
actually
moment.
going on right now? Okay, on the web, go to my website as we're talking. Do you have a second device by chance?
I don't. I actually don't. I don't have a computer or anything.
It's
I'm
okay.
old
It's
school.
okay. It's okay. There's two parts of the heart. There's the part where you have achieved, which is the lower part of the heart, which is the thought process is giving the relationship understanding. Are you with me?
Mm-hmm.
The part that has not been achieved is in the upper part of the heart. So the lower part of the heart has to deal with the understanding of the liberation. So what you're seeing is the knowledge is freeing itself to you to give you the ability to learn the lesson within yourself. However, where you're feeling that stoppage is above the lower part of the heart. So from here down, it's fine. The thought process, the human system, the ability to stand your ground. What it is not happening is the transition through the top part of the heart so that you can voice yourself on that to the people that are around you.
Okay.
So realize that the lower part has to deal with that understanding. And so as you're working through the energy within your body, and you can see my meditation videos, my network, I highly recommend other people to subscribe if they want to get readings done as well too. Motivation, meditation, inspiration.yoga. Now, you can definitely see the upper and the lower chamber of the heart. There. You can actually see the four
okay.
quadrants, the mastery of the lower and the upper chambers of the heart. And so, as you liberate yourself, that's the thing that's holding you back from the ability to go beyond that to the depth perception, which is the place in which you're looking to go to.
Okay.
So the voicing of yourself is the next place. So when the clarity has started to happen in the thought process, which is the yellow energy field. So this means that you're in the progression of it. You with
Great.
me?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm with you.
So the nervous system is not ready to release it yet. That's why you
I
still
sense
hold
that.
hold back. So how we get there is to recognize that working through each individual energy field is important. The place that's holding the transfer is inside of the heart still, which is the reason why green is showing up around you all the time.
Yeah, that's cool.
So that's the progression. So the way in which mastery of meditation works is a progression of focus becoming a foundation in self-study to where the point where the knowledge liberates oneself, which it's doing. It's working inside of you to free you from that situation. and to progress to the point where it elevates itself to the point where the whole system allows the knowledge and the focus to be inside the classroom, so the whole entire lesson comes available beyond your own thought process to the place where it connects the whole entire being to allow yourself to be you.
Yeah. I definitely felt limited this past year in my ability. I mean, I literally sought counseling to be able to verbally voice like my needs, the things. So I definitely recognized like weaknesses in my life that I'd never been challenged in before that made me want to, I again, like just trying to address those things was like extremely challenging in ways I didn't expect.
That is the blessing, though. See, here's the thing. Meditation is a progression. So, okay. Meditation is first Kundalini. Then it goes into Qigong. So, centering of oneself is the ability to be the student inside the classroom and the teacher at the same exact time, with oneself in 3 points of focus. One being focus, the second one being knowledge of the situation, and the third one within yourself, sufficient discipline. So when this hits a place of discipline, the knowledge liberates itself. It works like coils. It feels like you're trying to climb a mountain and you don't know what level you're at, but you're still going through it and you're trying to work through it. So this is a recognition of the key of levels of elevation, which are fight and flights, slavery and emotion, time and organization, and ultimately focus and knowledge, and discipline to the point where the reflection outwards is inspiration. So that's how it manifests from within out. So that's where the connection within oneself gives the ability to free that. And so each of those levels work like coils. So as a person works through meditation, and there are multiple parts of meditation. There's internal meditation and external meditation, which I videotaped both. Like, I actually have sessions that I have done meditation that I have, people can see the transfer of energy throughout the whole entire body. So there's internal mastery and there's the external breath mastery. So just like you would have the ability to bring down a weight, you have the ability to release a weight too. So that is where those types of things happen. And mastery also gives the ability to start speaking it out too.
How long have you been practicing this and like disciplining and working?
So I have been doing this for almost a decade.
Okay, wow.
But let me go ahead and give a little history here. My mom is a direct student of Yogi Bhajan.
Is that an Indian yogi?
That is the person who brought Kundalini to the U.S. I didn't
okay.
learn my meditation from her. I learned this stuff on my own.
Okay.
My dad went to Japan and learned meditation in Japan. I have almost 4 generations of meditation on my mother's side.
That's beautiful.
So,
do you feel like genetically that played into your interest at all, or like in your ability to possibly, like, I don't want to say like you had an upper hand or anything, because of course it's all discipline, but that lineage, do you feel like that benefited you?
we all have that through our lineage, to have the ability to utilize what we have learned in the past. And my ultimate goal was to achieve what 4 generations could not, and I went and bypass this in umpteen. Like, there's people across the whole entire world that know who I am. The point is not that, though. The point is that you can liberate yourself. The point is that the word guru means to come from the darkness to the light. The actual word literally itself means to achieve what you're achieving. Do you understand?
I like that.
So
somebody described it to me as like the most simplest form I've ever heard, and kind of like a tease on the word was like how you spell it, which is G-U-R-U. And they made it more of like a statement. You are you. Like a guru is you are you. I was like, oh, that's cool.
That is a good one. The way I have always viewed this is like this. You start out in a dark tunnel by yourself. Inside this tunnel, you are left by yourself. they tell you one thing. They say, at the end of the tunnel, there is light. You have the choice to sit there. You have the choice to get up and start walking, or you have the choice to give up. So mastery of meditation is this. And so as I bypassed hours and hours inside a sauna, people started to recognize this. They were going back into the gym, and what I was facing off against was within myself. So it no longer had the effect over me.
Is that where you consistently practiced, was the sauna?
I did for
Wow.
just about since the age of 27 until the age of 33.
Okay.
I'm 34.
Okay.
I am sufficient energy within my body to do that. Now, I drink 7 shakes a day, including a double shot salt, and only have mixed nuts, and maybe I'm lucky if I have a meal in a whole day. So I have creatine, protein, green shakes. I have a lemon shake, and I have a morning shake, which is vitamin shake, and I last an entire day with the energy within myself to be sufficient. So
You don't eat meat?
it doesn't matter what a person eats. What matters is how the utilization of what they eat is working.
That makes sense.
It's like a light. It's like a flashlight being shined. It can shine through the sand in a glass, and that's what the Gavadi talks about as well too. See, I'm a Christian. However, I also understand other parts of the relation with the Most High. So when you put a person inside a sauna for over 2.5 hours, they either die, get a relationship with the Most High and the universe, or they're going to walk out of the sauna. So there's the options. And that's...
Yeah, because I love this. I mean, I've used the sauna before, and I've definitely loved it. And I probably, on average, stay in maybe at the most 35, 40 minutes, depending on how hot it is. So, yeah,
last
it's a long
year,
time.
I was doing 1 hour minimum inside the sauna, and I was walking directly into the steam room and doing a 2nd hour of vocal meditation.
Oh my gosh, and the steam room is harder because it doesn't let sweat escape.
I was doing vocal meditation inside the steam room.
Wow.
For 1 hour before leaving.
Wow.
Now I do 30 minutes of internal meditation and 30 minutes of external meditation with mastery over the I ams. And so I went online and started looking up Vasana, and I'm like, I'm already doing it.
That's cool.
I look at the different stuff that they have out there, and it all started with just guided chakra activation meditation and walking in the sauna and sitting down with my eyes closed. And then they pulled the video off, so I continued to go, and I progressed to the point where I started hijacking the nervous system, started bypassing stuff, utilizing eyes closed meditation, utilizing eyes open meditation, utilizing golden light energy meditation, and ultimately saving myself with golden light energy. So the aura that people see coming from me is actually golden. It's not red or green or purple. They actually see me, and they see that because I had to utilize that to save my life after 7 hours of being inside the sauna. So that's what I'm saying is that I am literally a teacher of the light. And that is a reflection that people call meditation.
So what do you recommend for I guess it's on your website. The starting out and how to begin.
So you're asking the right questions. The first place is to recognize that meditation is very easy to learn. It's not very easy to continue. That's why there's so many videos. I sit down for 1 hour, which is a reflected period of time within ourselves to be able to utilize this. So I talk about focus for 30 minutes, which prepares one for meditation. I talk about meditation for 10 minutes, and I talk about knowledge and focus, which is the connection at a place of discipline within oneself, for 20 minutes a day. So it's all available. Now, meditation is very easy to learn. starts out at the toes, works its way up to through the knees, swirls to the back, works into the human organ system, to the yellow energy field, to the heart, to the throat, to the eyes, where the depth perception is, and through the centering below the eagle's crown. So if you can see, actually, my forehead split in 4.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the lower mastery, is the depth perception. I'm 34, but you can't see a wrinkle around my eyes.
Yeah.
A lot of people say I look like I'm in my early 20s. So what I'm saying is that has that control over the eye system and through. And so the nervous system has the ability to hijack the nervous system and be used as a actual literal exercise. And if you use asana, you can utilize it to hijack and turn it into an athletic ability to use, so that you can actually become strong with meditation. So the utilization of this stuff is the purpose and why I teach people. And that is the level of focus required, to where somebody just doesn't say, I'm not motivated. Motivation is just a reflection of focus.
That makes a lot of sense, yeah.
So that is writing stuff down. That's recognizing that you can take every situation and try to search out the most positive outcome, and that whatever failed you in the past is lessons learned to move forward. And so when we utilize that ability, we utilize the ability to free the knowledge inside of ourselves, which is sufficient.
How do you overcome that? The redirection. How do you redirect your focus when there's a situation that you've been through that you see as not ideal, that you didn't, it didn't turn the way you wanted it to, or the way that you saw would be best? How do you redirect that sense of like, oh, I should have done this or whatever, into, lesson learned, move on? Like, how do you like direct that energy?
There's
forward?
no I shouldn't. There's no I should have. There's only 2 things that exist, as Newton stated. For each action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. There's a negative, positive energy fields in the universe. So when we look at it from a universal law, even the creator of this universe recognizes this. So there's a Richter scale of alpha and omega. So the level which I've achieved is alpha. So there's still omega, which is the next level of enlightenment, which is when we hit omega. So it's a progression within oneself. Meditation is a progression of self-study. It's the ability to continuously learn from yourself. So liberating yourself is that ability. And that is where you bypass the coils within oneself to the place where they no longer have the ability to stop your mentality. So the energy fields inside of yourself are in that place. Now, let's go ahead and take a situation. Okay, so let me look at a situation and how I overcame a situation. In October of 2018, I was driving. I've spoken to over 100,000 people. I did 3.5 years of telesales, 2.5 years of car sales. At that point, when I was doing car sales, I wanted to learn how to blush, how to allow the light inside of myself to radiate so I could turn on the feature inside a human being called blush. So I was working upwards of 100 hours a week, and I was massively focused between doing Uber and selling cars, 50, 60 hours a week, driving 35 to 40 hours a week, when I started to realize how important the foundation of the focus was. So at that point, I started to progress to a place where I was driving, and I got past the point where I wanted to sell cars, and I started to really enjoy driving. So I started to drive, and I was driving down the road, and somebody hit my car on the side and displaced both of my hips. A vertebrae in the center of my, right where the belly button was out, and my neck became elongated. Now I walk into a chiropractor's office. This guy, his great grandpa did it. His grandpa did it. His dad did it, and he's been doing it. And his son does chiropractic. This is like the best chiropractor in San Diego. So I am at this guy, and he takes the back scanner and runs a back scanner across my entire back, right? So of course I know I'm messed up. He goes, I never seen somebody with a back as strained as yours in my entire life. So I'm looking at myself like, well, I'm going to end up in a wheelchair. I'm going to end up in a wheelchair. If I don't have this. If I didn't have this, I'd be in a wheelchair right now. That is how a guru is made. That is how a true yogi is made. A true yogi is made. They're not... You understanding what I'm saying right now?
Yeah, yeah.
So when that happened to me, I went through 17 chiropractic visits, sat down inside the sauna, went through the book of Kundalini energy within the human being, reached the accident, re-experienced the accident, pulled out the exact moment that my body went, re-experienced that, and overcame that within myself.
So you almost like basically had to go through the trauma again and readdress it as like focused.
Yeah. So with that kind of focus, the fear moves out of the way. So I was meditating.
Hold on 1 second. Eli, come on, come on, come on. Hey, Eli, come on. So sorry, hold on. Eli, come on. Letting the bugs in. Come on. Hustle, hustle. Sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Blessings. It's okay. We all have animals. I have 6 dogs here on the ranch. So what happens is I started to go to the beach and do meditation. And I was doing meditation and yoga because I know yoga. I took stretch and alignment and yoga in my early 20s. And so I know yoga. And so I started running from Pacific Beach Pier all the way to the jetties and back and doing body surfing. Within 1 month of deciding to start to do that, I was body surfing and running 6 miles a day and doing yoga. So it's all in here. It's all in your ability to sit down and focus. It's all in the ability to connect yourself to you and to get down to the person who you truly are inside.
Did you experience fear when you were when you were going in the sauna and feeling the accident again? Was there ever a moment of like a sense of being like overwhelmed and like concern of like, am I going to be able to do this? Am I going to handle this?
No. I have been through so many injuries in my life that I have learned that fear is an emotion. And fear moves out of the way to the one who's willing to focus to the point where they're able to get to the knowledge beyond the fear.
Okay.
So what I'm saying is at 21, I had dual plantar fasciitis. Actually, at 19, I had my shoulder torn apart, learned from massage therapists, traded lifting weights. I was really strong in my early 20s. And then but I'm stronger now, believe that or not, because my mind controls my body.
Yeah.
Not my body controlling my mind. I see all these kind of guys, okay, as nothing compared to the type of mastery that I have. It's in here. This is a reflection. It's letting it be. It's letting it actually be. It's letting your whole being work through you that matters the most. So I had that. I had dual plantar fasciitis, couldn't run for 2 years. I bent my feet past the point of the bone going, so I strained both tendons. I had my hand hit by a truck at 25. I was working for a cemetery out here doing manual labor. Then I got into sales and stuff like that later. I mean, I've had physical, I've had emotional tests, I've had mental tests. I went through Cambo. You know Cambo?
I don't. What is that?
It's frog poison.
Oh, yeah. I've seen that on YouTube.
I went through Cambo, and it had no effect over me. I went through Cambo, and it had no effect over me.
Wow.
So what I'm saying is and I also did Buffo, and as soon as I went down and I came back up, I went straight into meditation, and I shot that thing off of me. I got up and sat back down, and then I had to get up and perform Reiki on 2 people to get them out of their Buffo stage, which I videotaped that.
Wow.
So this medicine woman who was providing that actually had given up at a certain point, and I took my hand and put it on the guy's heart and made his heart start beating, and it's on video camera. So what I'm saying is that there's focus and knowledge is liberation. Discipline is within oneself. So the classroom, the key is to become the student inside the classroom of oneself, so that the focus can achieve knowledge that's sufficient within yourself.
So what do you think is people in general's greatest hindrance to achieving what you've achieved?
Ooh, that is a very good question.
Because if it's all in the head, and we
Self-realization. Self-realization. It's self-realizing that... So let me go ahead and now I'm going to tell the story.
Okay.
So I'm still married, but my wife, she left me a year ago. And I ended up ultimately sleeping in my car for 2 months and doing meditation inside the sauna. I loved it. I had 2 dogs in the car. I was delivering food, and I was going inside the sauna, and I was doing meditation. I was washing all my clothes. I had black clothes on, and I was just in it with myself at a point where I was sufficient.
Mm-hmm.
And on a certain point, on a certain day, I reached a place of observation, which means my body was meditating and I was watching myself meditate. And so at the place of patience with oneself uncovers the cloud of discernment. So when one realizes that one is sufficient to be themselves, that they're on their journey by themselves, that the light inside of themselves is sufficient, that the universe can utilize them, that is when the liberation of understanding oneself becomes.
So is it that people don't take the time to self-discover?
Yes, very good. The biggest place where we lose is in the ability to give ourselves the first 2 hours of our day.
Yeah, that sounds like a lot to busy people. I can see why that sounds like a big thing. We hardly have time to take care of our physical bodies, much less, or we think we do at least. It's the mindset that we don't have time for an hour of, gym or something, much less 2 hours.
And the reason why I said 2 hours a day is because in those 2 hours, you have 1 hour for your exercising, and you have 1 hour for you to sit down and focus on achieving you. And so self-reflection is identified as self-love. So self-knowledge reflects out self-love.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
So achieving that requires focus, which is the foundation. And so first we master the morning, then we master the night. And so the day becomes a manifestation of the one who's willing to do that. I think I wrote a quote on my Instagram about that. Let me go ahead and pull this up so you can actually hear it. I'll go ahead and... See, when I meditate, because I usually do a minimum of 1 hour per day of meditation, understanding that the foundation of focus allows us to liberate the knowledge within ourselves, gives us the ability to hit the place of discipline, where we recognize that we are sufficient to master the one thing that matters, ourselves. So that is where that reflection comes outward. So everything that's going on around you is really not going on around you. It's actually truly going on within you.
Yeah, I could tell this past year, again, it was very interesting to see that I had, brought something to myself. It was almost like a lesson I didn't want to learn, but that it was...
Aren't those the greatest kind?
Telling me,
When you can see, because the opinion stops the true... It's like this. Your focus heats up the knowledge inside of you. So as the knowledge heats up inside of you, what happens is the impurities, like you didn't want to learn that lesson, start to melt away from the true knowledge inside of the lesson. So that is a freedom of liberation. to gain the real knowledge inside of the lesson, because
Yeah.
our opinion stops us from learning the lesson.
Yeah, yeah, being closed and thinking it has to be a certain way, or that, yeah, I see what you're saying.
So that's where, in that case, the next stages of progression for yourself through this process is to start to speak it out. You got to get that energy starting to flow upwards, and then it'll hit the place of depth perception, and then ultimately it'll work its way out of your nervous system. So that would mean to start to sing, to start to, speak it out. Start to get with people that you can start letting this out of you.
Wow, that's really interesting too, because I actually do enjoy music and singing, and I haven't done that for the past since the challenge. I mean, like I said, there's a sense of relief that it's over, but I've really and now I'm kind of listening to, when you get in a state of a fear state, in a sense of I've got to survive right now. There's no time to meditate. There's no time to.
How do you think I felt coming home to my family? 34 years old, working hundreds of hours. I literally work 100 hours a week. I was sending money to Europe and to a person that didn't care about me. And I came here and I sat down in the room and closed my eyes and started meditating. And ultimately had to come with the reflection that this person had truly abandoned me. 8 years. 8 years.
Cannot fathom. I hardly made it one.
8 years.
I can't imagine.
And you know what I found the lesson from this story? I was not being myself.
The authenticity,
I found that who I am, the way you see my head shaved, the stuff that I wear, that the person that I truly am, could only be myself to myself. And this liberation of knowledge bypassed that stuff, allowed me to achieve levels where other motivational, see, the difference is I am a reflection of inspiration. I utilize my knowledge and my focus. You go and find a motivational speaker, and you see what I'm saying, the actual forehead. I have mastered up the chambers within that are written in massive books throughout time is right here in front of you. You with me on what I'm saying?
Yeah, I follow you.
So what I'm telling you is that emotion is a level of elevation. To bypass the emotion is to liberate oneself.
I believe that.
So look at a kid who is taking a first grade test and look at a 12th grader and give the same test to a 12th grader. What happens with the test?
You want me to answer? It's easier?
It's easier. The one who's 12th grader has the knowledge. See, that's the thing, is that the first grader might not have the knowledge to overcome it. So that is what it's about. It's about you being sufficient within yourself, and that's why the answer to the question that you asked about self is that. Are you there? Hello? Wow, I guess I'm getting kicked off again. Oh, I guess we, okay, let's see if we can get you back online. Sure, most definitely. This is a place I am doing readings. I am helping people out. I am here to, light up people's worlds and to make their day blessed, and that's really the reason why I want to help people out, is because that when I drove people around, I had come across a lot of people who hadn't even reached the level of reflection of self-love. So they couldn't get to that place for themselves. So I started to take on the fact that I needed to truly start helping people out.
That's awesome.
And so So I feel like, Kerrigan, have I answered all of your questions possibly?
Yeah, you have. I think, and thank you for like sharing and letting me ask, explore. I definitely think when you're talking about the focus, if I did have any other like question or interest in like your perspective on would be, that you're talking about how important it is to take the time to focus and how much it is that you have to have that linear like line of focus, like a sharp laser, to be able to discover that in yourself, to discover oneself, is to line that focus up. So in today's world, we're so full of quick changing attention, like ADD. It's like setting us up to be very short attention span. So maybe again, like a suggestion on how you would, let's say a high schooler that has their attention very diverted, how
Very
would you
good.
help focus that?
Okay, I'm inside the sauna. See, like, literally, I literally am a teacher. Like, it just is. Here's a story. Ready for the story, guys?
Yeah.
I'm inside the sauna, and this guy comes in there, and I'm meditating, and he is high-level autism. Sits down next to me and starts asking me how to meditate, and I start showing him how to meditate. They are very intelligent in a way in which other people don't realize. So he gets out of the sauna with me, and his mother's there with him, and she says he's a blessing. He hasn't let this affect him. He's realized that what he does have is what he can use. And so he's like, man, when I swim, I feel like a shark. And so what he was relating to was when he gets inside of the water, he feels so at home inside the water that he utilizes the water to the point where he relates to the water in the same way a shark would. So the thought process that he was using was much more advanced than the person who would say, I feel like a shark. His actual thought process was, I feel like the universe gives me the ability to be a shark inside the water. And that is how it works. When you see, you can go to the ocean and you can see people surfing, and you can see people that are connecting with the water. And when that compression starts to happen and they start to master that form of compression, the element starts to become one with the person, and you can see them as a part of the wave. And that has to deal with the masteries of the elements as well. And heat happens to be one of those elements, and I am fire elemental, which means I can undergo high levels of pressure with heat and still walk out when other people will just drop and die. You understanding what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that was my level of decompression. Now, focus at a certain level is within us all. Knowledge is within us all. The ability to liberate ourselves is within us all. And so the lesson that I learned from him there was that it is available to you if you can focus to utilize the knowledge that you have inside of yourself.
So any effort that you have to give is almost like a form of its own discipline of your focus.
Yeah, and then understanding how to break those energy fields down. Each individual energy field relates to a different part of your human being.
Okay.
So the mastery of those energy fields, like I was telling you, to get to singing it out, is going to start to pull it up through the heart to the throat, and then the expression will start to come. I was working with another person, ended up coming out here, getting another person meditating with me and stuff, and they were having a lot of the, they literally were facing off against breast cancer, and they still are. And the place where they were most affected was inside of the heart, and there was a day when we went to the water, and they put their fingers down in such an angle that the energy was able to flow through the energy field within, and with the right organization of energy fields within the body, they were able to actually sing out what was going on. And so they were sitting there on the water saying peace, because one of the places where the relation that we have with ourselves is in the heart is peace. So utilizing that with that kind of green energy gives the ability to utilize that. And even the color that you have on the screen is green. Even the drink that I'm drinking right now is green. So I utilize all 7 energy fields within the body. I utilize even in what I have in my day, even the types of shakes that I put into my system, even the mentality of the reflection outwards is that.
Well, thank you. I think that answered my question.
Blessings there. I wanted to allow Smiles to start to ask the questions so I can continue to get multiple readings going on here, so I can help out multiple people. Smile.
Wow, that's crazy. Awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I usually don't come on this, but I think I saw you one time and I was like, let me follow.